I thought the other thing we were supposed to always do is kind of make sure we had like almost a golf ball under our armpits or something like that. Am
Not
I
at that
mixing?
moment.
Okay.
Okay, not at that moment. And you can start with the golf ball, but eventually I want it to go to a different class of fruit. Okay, so
A grape.
yeah, like a grapefruit or when we start off small, a little kiwi, a little grape. Okay, and then we kind of grow into it. But that's our body shape, Shelley. Okay, so once we're in this body shape, so like when we close our arms and we go into ward off left, this is the body shape, not this.
Gotcha.
This.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah. So the we have to make sure there's so much to think about.
Yeah,
There really is a lot to think about when you're doing your Tai Chi.
absolutely.
You gotta think of your feet. You gotta think, what's this arm doing? What's this arm doing? Where am I looking? Okay, do I got my body shape? Am I doing this essential? Okay, I mean, there are steps. There are steps. So the first step is you must uh, learn the basic movements, and all of you basically should be there. Okay, learning the base, or I would say, learning the gross movements. Once you learn the gross movements, then the next stage is to memorize the sequence. Oh, hallelujah. Let me tell you, that was a huge challenge for me. Huge challenge for me. But I will say, when you look at the list of all the 103 movement form, my husband helped me a lot because I was so frustrated when I was in this learning process. I mean, I'm still in the learning process, but in initially learning how to do the long form, there came a point where it's like, I just can't do this. Okay. And so what he did was, we had a book that our first teacher gave us that had all the names of the movement, and he put a dot next to single whip, and he said, when you're at single whip, then you have to think, what do I do next? Am I in the first section? Then I know I go to raise hands. Am I in the section? Then I know I do either high pat on horse, cloud hands, those kind of things. Third section, you know what I mean? So single whip is a point in the form where you have to then know what you're going to do next. And when you think of it like that, there's very few differences. I mean, you're either going to do high pat on horse, you're going to do single whip, you're going to do raise hands, those kind of things. So it made it easier for me knowing that that was a marker point for me. I don't know. Did I
Just
answer your question?
no, yeah, yeah, great answer to my question. Just a little side item. I actually went to my acupuncturist today and told her that I, finally got back into Tai Chi, and she was saying, "Oh, that's so great because, if you just do cloud hands and then kind of start moving around cloud hands, but kind of almost like you're holding a spear, you can feel the chi." Is what she was telling me. So
Yeah,
kind of interesting.
very interesting. So just remember that everything boils down to energy.
Yep.
And we'll get to that later on, okay? Right now, we're still working on essentials that has to do with the body. And, when we get into the fifth essential, then we're going to start looking at energy and working on our mind. I mean, not saying that we're not working on our mind because, the essentials in Tai Chi in itself asks us to use our mind all the time. So, anyway. Okay. Anybody else have any questions, concerns, issues? All right, so let's review and let's go over the first essential. All right, so I want us to go through the first up to push, uh, making sure that we're doing this first essential. Okay, so feet or shoulders width apart. You can look down now. Make sure your feet are shoulder width apart. Okay, hands touching the outer part of your thighs. Remember, we've got that weight on our middle finger. Now, place that hook that's on the top of your head to the hook on the ceiling. Okay, so we're trying to reach towards the ceiling or towards that hook. Okay, all right, and make sure that you're breathing naturally from your belly. All right, so you should feel your belly go in and out. All right, So for those of us that were taught, keep your stomach tight, now's not the time to do that. Okay? All right, belly breathing, looking straight forward. We go to opening, rotate your arms and lift to shoulder height. Breathing in. Once to shoulder height, pressing down with the arms. Forearms and then the palms. All right, now we're going to start doing the first essential. Shift weight left, turn to the right. Keep your head up. Where are you looking? Circle your arms. Where are you looking? Keep looking forward. Step when your arms close. Then turning to the right. Now we should be looking to the 3 o'clock direction. Shift weight back. Go to ward off right. Turn. Shift to the left. Looking at the left arm, grabbing and pulling. Closing the arms back at 3 o'clock. Then go to ward off right. Roll back, turn to the right, follow the arm direction, then turn to the left. Now we should be looking just a little bit beyond the corner. Press, turn back. Now we're back towards the 3 o'clock direction. Keep your head up, pressing forward. Separate your arms to shoulders width. Keep your head up, keep looking forward, don't look down as we push forward. Okay? How's that, everybody? Yes? Anybody have any trouble? I'm sorry, I interrupted somebody. Are we okay?
I said it's a little more challenging than it seems like it should be.
Okay.
Mostly because I have for a long time had a tendency to lean forward and look down when I walk and when I move.
Yeah.
This will be good for me.
Yeah, and just know we are all a work in progress, Caroline. All of us. Okay? All right. Anybody?
I have a comment. I wasn't at last week's session. I just signed up. What should I be doing? Is there a reference place that I can get the information for the first essential? Can I go on to the second even without having the first, or should I wait until the next group of classes? I've never done Tai Chi before.
Oh, okay. So, are you in any of our other classes, Cookie?
No.
Oh, okay. In the first 20 minutes of class, I was talking about the first essential.
Yes.
All right. So as long as you keep those things in mind, then you should be okay.
Okay.
I highly recommend that you go to, tomorrow is Dee Dee's class, Wednesday at noon. She does a basics and fundamentals class. And on Saturday, she also does the same class at 9 a.m. And then Judy has our first section beginning class Mondays at 4 o'clock. So you may
That's what I was looking for, but it didn't give me that option. So
okay.
let me check again. I may just bow out right now if that's okay with you, or just listen to what you're saying rather than try to participate. Okay. And then I'll try to sign up for that 4 o'clock Monday class.
Okay, and if you're having trouble with finding the link, please feel free to send me an email, or Michael, can you put the link on the chat if Dee Dee hasn't already done that?
I was going to say, if you want, I can, this is Dee Dee Hilke, just look for me.
Okay.
I can try to direct message you if you can use the chat and maybe get those links, those registration links to you.
Okay, it's just that when a friend gave me the I don't want to waste your time now. Yes, that would be great.
Okay.
If you will do that. Thank you.
Okay. Out of curiosity, who referred you?
Carol Sinapi.
Okay.
And she had signed up for the first one, but I didn't see that as an option.
Okay.
When I went on.
She's in Dee Dee's class as well, so okay. All right, so let's move on. Thank you, Michael. Okay. Anybody else have any questions about what we just did? All right, let's go on. Let's go to the next essential. So remember, the first 4 essentials we're focusing, it focuses and applies to body shape breathing, abdominal breathing, and sinking the chi for balance and stability, okay? All right, so what's the second essential? Did everybody get their, oh, was I supposed to mail everybody?
You were.
Yes.
Oh,
And you didn't. Shoulders down, elbows down.
yeah.
Hold in chest and slightly round the back.
I thought we gave the list to Marion and she was going to make sure everybody got it.
No, we did not. Where's Rita? Where's Rita?
Yeah.
There's Rita.
Rita's
Okay,
out.
there's Rita. Michael always likes to assign Rita to do things. All right. Okay, so what's the second essential? Sink the shoulders, droop the elbows. Okay. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Oh,
No, hold in chest and slightly round the back.
yes. Okay, that's what it means. I'm sorry. All right, so what we're going to do today, oh, okay.
The order is not important. The different ones have different order. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. So we're working on, okay, so here's part of the problem. Okay.
Hey, Nancy,
Hey,
I just linked the 10 essentials on the Young Family website in the chat. And for Cookie, there's a link to sign up for the first section.
all right,
Thank you.
right on. Thank you. All right, so the next essential that we've got to think about is sink the shoulders and drop the elbows, droop the elbows. Okay, so that's essential number 5, so you got to turn the page. Okay, so let me read the essential and then we'll go from there. Okay. Sinking the shoulders means the shoulders relax, open, and hang downward. If you can't relax them downward, the shoulders pop up and then the chi follows and goes upward. Okay, so that's why we did this thing, okay, that thing, causing the whole body to lack strength. Dropping the elbows means the elbows are relaxed downward. If the elbows are elevated, then the shoulders are unable to sink. When you use this to push someone, they won't go far. It's like the cutoff energy of external martial arts. Okay, external martial arts are thought to use energy from parts or sections of the body as opposed to whole body energy of Tai Chi. Okay. So, all right. So what I'd like you to keep in mind is the shoulders and the elbows go together. If your elbow is up, your shoulder is up. If your shoulder is up, your elbow is up. There's no getting around that. Okay? So when my elbow comes up, it starts to lift my shoulder. When my shoulder comes up, it starts to lift my elbow. All right? So these two go together. So the thing I want you to focus on that might be a little easier is the elbow. Keeping the elbow down. So the meaning of this essential allows the upper body to be flexible and relaxed. All right, because if you notice, okay, so everybody go like this. All right, now start to raise up your elbows. And you're going to notice that now energy is starting to come there and your upper body's starting to get heavy. All right, and things from the bottom start coming up. So your upper body starts to get heavier than the lower body. This is actually reversed. So we want to make sure that when the elbows and the shoulders are down, then it allows us to be more relaxed, okay, quote unquote relaxed, right? So what does relax mean? That's an open question. What does the word relax mean?
Connected.
That's good. I love it. Okay, so when we apply the first essential, then the shoulders and elbows should be down. That keeps the upper body relaxed where there's no tension, and it keeps the chi down, making sure that we're breathing naturally. All right, so what are some examples of how we break this essential? All right, so I can stay pretty close here. All right, so when we go to ward off left, all right, so I'll go this direction so you can see more, see better, all right? So when I go to ward off left, sometimes students do it like this. So what's happening? The elbow's up.
Lifting your elbows too high.
Well, that's exactly right, Carol Ann. Okay, so my elbow's like this. So if this is the case, this is my body shape. If when I lift my arm and I'm like this, this then becomes my body shape. And we know that this is not our body shape. This is our body shape, right? So when you go into ward off left, keep this elbow down. Make sure your fingers stay above your elbow. Then you should be good, all right? The other part, another flaw some students have is when we go to ward off right. Okay, I'll go this direction so you can see better. Okay, So here I am at ward off left. I want you to watch this arm, okay? So I'm going to go to ward off left. See what happened? Okay, now the elbow. Okay, so again, here's my body shape. All right, if I'm at this part, we know this is our body shape. Hi, Dita. All right, so when we go to ward off left, keep this left elbow down. Then you should be okay. All right. Now, when we go to roll back, what's something that happens with roll back? Okay, then people do roll back like this. Watch this elbow. Roll back. Roll back. All right. So they're not dropping the elbow. So this is roll back. This is roll back. Keeping that elbow down and just rotating from the up the it's called forearm. Forearm.
Okay,
Right?
I have a question then. What about things like the extended arms with the split energy? When you're raising your arm up higher, your shoulder raises.
Okay, that's a great question. What about when we're doing white crane spreads its wings, Marion?
Well, and our shoulder does go up a little.
Huh?
I mean, it's hard to raise your arm above your head without your shoulder going up a bit.
Okay, you're that's a very true. Okay, I see you, Terry.
I
Okay,
mean, I'm trying to be conscious of like not
yes.
letting it become high and rigid, but it does go up, and I'm just assuming that we're trying to balance it on the other side with the other arm being down.
Okay, so if we look at, let's say, diagonal flying and posture, or maybe a little bit easier, parting wild horse's mane,
Yeah.
right? So we're like in this posture. Okay, so how do I know my elbow and my shoulders are down? Because I'm not doing this. So my elbow, see the difference between.
Yeah, I do see the difference.
So also when we go into white crane spreads its wings. Okay, so there's a difference between this and this.
Yeah.
And this versus this.
Right.
So the elbow must droop down. So you have to pay attention to where your elbow is pointing. Is it pointing more upward or is it pointing more downward?
It's kind of like it's a little more relaxed.
It is.
Upper. Yeah.
Well, when you lift it up higher, I can feel my whole rib cage. Everything is engaged to like lift the whole shoulder up.
Okay, so then let's look at another part of the first essential. All right, it's not only that we're keeping our head lifted. What else are we thinking about in the first essential, Marion?
We're keeping our lower back relaxed and we're keeping our shoulders down. We're relaxing our stomach.
Okay, so go back into white crane spreads its wings and stretch up. How flexible, how relaxed is your stomach?
Now it's just taut.
Okay, it's very taut, right? Okay, so then you know you've gone too far. When we can no longer do belly breathing in a natural way, then we are breaking that first essential.
Yeah, I usually do parting the horse's waves, whatever it is, hair, mane. I can usually do that with a fairly relaxed extension, but when it comes to diagonal flying, I think I'm pretty much, way up in as far as I can throw that frisbee, kind of,
Yes, and I want you to remember that I remember one of the first things I said to you when I was in class with you the first time. Right?
Yes,
okay.
I remember.
So there's a way in which we can do this without
overextending.
Yes. Yeah. Check your breathing, Marion.
Okay.
Get back to where you can have this belly breathing so you know that everything, your chi is down. Then when that happens and you have the first essential, okay, so here I'm like this, now my stomach's tight. So backing off from that, then making sure that the elbow is down and I'm not overstretching here.
Right.
Okay. It'll affect your breathing.
Okay.
So when it affects your breathing, you've gone too far.
Okay.
Okay. But then how do we know, am I too little, too much, or just right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so if we look at white crane spreads its wings, example, this is too little.
Right. Because your
This
head
is
is
too much.
locked. Yeah. Yeah.
This is just
Yeah.
right. So, you know, you can do your single movement practice and get a sense of what the end posture feels like when you are applying the first essential, okay? Making sure the breathing is good, and making sure then that the elbows and the shoulders are dropping down. We say drooping, okay, sinking down. Then you should be good.
Okay.
This is how you can test to make sure you're good.
Okay.
So we must make sure that we have our relaxation. We must make sure that we are flexible. That comes from the middle body, all right? And that the upper body is light. So it should not, you know, when you raise up, then you know there's heaviness here. So you know I have to sink back down so that your belly can then breathe freely.
Right.
Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. These, you know, delving into and exploring the 10 essentials, it's like you jump in the water and did you ever play that game where, you know, people would toss stuff and you'd go dive down and you'd have to go get it? All right. Well, it's kind of like that. We're diving down now, we're trying to find it and we got it and we bring it up and go, "Oh, this is what it is." Well, what is that, right? So, we're exploring all this. So, it's good. It just shows that you know, the well of Tai Chi is very deep. Okay. Anybody else have any questions so far? All right. So another thing I want you to think about is roll back. When you do roll back, try to keep this elbow down. All right. Keep the elbow down that you're just turning and we're just using this as a pivot point. Okay. Then when we go to press, you know, sometimes we see people doing press like this. This is very, watch this. Okay. They do it like this. All right. So what just happened? Brought my shoulder up, right? So you need to keep that shoulder down, keep the elbow down so we know it more looks like this. So there are certain flaws that students have with certain movements that we have to kind of make sure that you stop doing those. Okay. And then also with the shoulder coming up with press, then the shoulder also has a tendency to come up when you're doing push. Okay, doing push. So when we practice this sequence now, I want you to pay attention, and I'm going to refresh your memory so that you kind of keep an eye on yourself, making sure that you are sinking your shoulders, that you're drooping your elbows, and that you're keeping your head up and breathing naturally and things like that, okay? Anybody have any questions before we start practice? Does everybody understand what this essential is asking?
Yes.
Kind of simple, right? Kind of simple. All right. So let's start. Let's start it almost at the bottom. All right. Our feet are shoulders width apart. We've just done opening. All right. So the elbows and the shoulders need to make sure that they stay down. So we go to ward off left. Shift to the left, turn to the right, 45 degrees. Now, when you circle the right arm up, lead with your fingers. That'll keep your elbow down. Arms closed, step. You should notice that your fingers are higher than your elbow. If your fingers are higher than your elbow's down. Then go to ward off left. Okay? Then we go to ward off right. Shift back, we turn slightly. When you turn, then I want you to drop this left elbow a little bit. When you turn down that elbow just a little bit. Then use that as a pivot point to rotate the left arm to grab and pull, looking in that area, closing the arms, looking at 3 o'clock, stepping, then go to ward off right. Okay, keep your head up, we're still looking at the horizon. Keep your right elbow down. Just use it as a pivot point as you turn to the right and rotate both arms. Then shift back, turn to the left, keeping our eyes looking forward. Press. When you turn back, keep that right elbow down. Keep the right shoulder down. as we press forward, looking at 3 o'clock. Separating the arms to shoulders width. Are you breathing okay? Shift back, bring your arms back level, drop those elbows, roll over a ball in front of the chest, and push back upward to shoulder height. How's this feel? How'd they look, Cindy? Cindy's watching. Yeah, they look good? Okay. Anybody have any questions on this?
Nance, this is Shelley. Is there any tricks to practicing how to breathe with relaxing your stomach, and any coaching on that? I find that's the hardest thing, is figuring out how to breathe correctly.
Yeah, okay. So Michael just said, remember hugging the tree?
Yeah.
Remember the body shape? Okay.
Yep.
So we say that, and we'll get into more of this later. Later meaning the other essentials. You know, there's a thing called storage and there's a thing called release. All right. So we store our energy so we can release our energy. So when it applies to the breath, then we are breathing in as we store and we are breathing out as we release. So if you think of, come here, Michael. In order to make energy work, we have to breathe out when we go to use our energy. So for instance, I'm gonna strike Michael, but I'm gonna use reverse breathing, okay? So when I strike him, I normally would breathe out, but I'm gonna breathe in. You should try it. You should try it. If you have somebody in your house or someone later on, you should try striking them as you breathe in. You're actually kind of pushing yourself in the opposite direction.
Right.
So when I go to strike him, it would be, I'm going to breathe in, breathe out. Okay? So when we release our energy, then we breathe out. So when we're doing our Tai Chi movements, and one of the things that, because this question comes up a lot, how do we coordinate our breath with our movement? Well, the only thing I want you to think about is when you go to strike somebody or when we go to do push, that here we breathe in and we push and we breathe out. Okay? Some movements like single whip. Breathe in. When do you know when you breathe out? Okay? That's a big movement. There's a lot of breathing in and breathing out with single whip. So you have to know, when am I breathing in? When am I breathing out? When am I breathing in? When am I breathing out? When am I breathing in? When am I breathing out? Okay? So it depends on what it is that you're trying to do in the movement that will determine when you breathe out. Okay? So every time we go to strike or when we're doing something, then we're breathing out. But I don't want you to be in a position where it's like, okay, breathe in. Oh, I want to breathe out so badly. I'm holding my breath. I'm holding my breath. Breathe out, okay?
Yeah.
You should never hold your breath, because holding your breath stops the energy or stifles the energy. So what that looks like is, if you take a hose, a watering hose, and you turn the faucet on, and we water things, okay? Everybody has done this. We've crimped off that hose, right? When we want to not have the water come out, we crimp it off. That does not stop the flow of the water. It puts pressure there, and there's a little dribbling of the water that comes out. But then once we release it, it's like it gushes out, right? When you hold your breath, that's what you're doing with your energy. So I want you to make sure that you continually breathe with your belly as you're doing your Tai Chi, and later on, then you can concentrate. Okay, so the steps are: learn the gross movements, memorize the sequence, imagine there's an opponent. When you imagine there's an opponent, then that's when you start concentrating on, okay, here's my opponent, what are they trying to do? Okay, now I got to figure out how to, deflect them or whatever. And then after that, it's then comes down to energy work. So how do you use your energy to, deflect somebody and then strike somebody or do whatever we need to do with somebody. And that has to do with our breath. So, it's just stages of learning, Shelley. But I don't want you to hold your breath. If when you're doing a movement, before it's time for you to release and to exhale, if you come here and you breathe in and then you breathe out and then you breathe in and then you breathe out, that's fine. Just don't hold your breath. Did that answer your question?
Yes, yes.
So even in the beginning, Master Yang will say, don't worry about your breathing, just breathe naturally. Because at least then we know that your chi is sinking. Because the moment our bellies become tight, we know then that our breathing is not relaxed, it's not natural. Okay. All right, any other questions? Okay, let's do this again. Let's practice the essential again. All right. So here we are almost at the bottom. All right, shoulders, elbows down. Ward off left, shifting left, turn to the right. When you circle your arm, lead with your fingers up. Make sure that right elbow is down. Step. Then look to 3 o'clock. All right. Shift back. When you turn to the right, drop this left elbow just a little bit. Then pivot on it as you rotate the left arm, closing the arm, stepping. Then we go to ward off right. Keep the right elbow down as we turn to the right and just pivot on that elbow to rotate the right arm as you shift back and turn to the left. How's your breathing? Press. Keep that right elbow down, right shoulder down. Press forward. All right, here. Is your elbow lower than your index finger? Is your right elbow lower than your index finger in press? If it is, then your elbow and shoulder are down. If it is not, see what happens? See this? Look. Then your shoulder and elbow are down. Okay? Then separate your arms to shoulders width. Shift back, roll over a ball, and push forward, keeping the shoulders down. Okay, how's this? Belly was breathing okay? Eyes looking forward?
I had to remind myself. Breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah. The breathing is the challenging part for all this and even learning Tai Chi. Why? Because your mind is so focused on what it is that you're supposed to do that then you start forgetting things. Like breathing.
Go ahead. Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
It's okay.
Well, so I understand trying to be fluid and relaxed, but I have to say there are certain moves, partly because they're sort of new for me, but partly because my image of them, I think, is like the ones where you use your arms like hammers. I'm not ever relaxed when I'm doing it. I'm always thinking strong hammer arms, like I'm going to hit a gong or something. So I'm holding things really pretty tightly, thinking that there's strength somehow in that. And when we talk about being relaxed, I'm wondering, well, how does it, I don't know like how much tension I guess I should put in a move like that, or if it's exactly the same as every other move.
Do you have a wood stove?
Yeah.
Do you have chopped wood at your house?
Uh-huh.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'd like for you to go out and chop some wood. All right, so why am I asking you that, Marian? Because if you're tight and not very flexible, when you go to hit that wood, it won't be as good as if you are relaxed.
Yeah.
Okay?
Plus it'll vibrate through my whole body.
Well, that's exactly it as well.
Yeah.
You're more apt to hurt yourself when you are in a quote unquote stiffer than if you are more looser. All right? So remember, Tai Chi wants us to have, okay, come back here, Michael. What we call springy energy. Okay?
Yeah.
So that like the shock absorbers of our car.
Right.
Okay? So when Michael pushes, okay? All right? So I'm less likely to get hurt doing this than if he pushes Okay. So then now my stomach gets tight, my arm gets tight, and I become stiff. Okay. Now he has the advantage. Okay. But if I stay, I'm going to use this word, supple. Row. Okay. If I stay flexible, okay, then it should not hurt me. Okay. So just like when you go to chop wood, your arm needs to be flexible because we don't just bring it and go like this. We bring it and we chop, right? We chop.
Right.
Just like in cross hands.
Yeah.
Do you do cross hands like this, or do you do cross hands like this?
Yeah, exactly.
Chopping.
Right.
So that's why I started many years ago incorporating the windshield wiper.
Mhm.
You know, when we can do these kind of things, and we can all do this, right?
Right.
Then um, in Tai Chi, we want all of our joints loose and flexible,
Mhm.
especially this one here, because once they get a hold of this, they got your whole body. They can get your whole body. So we don't want that.
Okay.
So focus on your breathing and the lightness of your upper body.
Okay.
Okay, and that should help some, Miriam.
Okay.
We'll chop wood.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, anybody else have any questions? All right, so let's go through the whole first section. And I will kind of remind you of certain things, you know, keeping the head up, keeping the shoulders and the elbows down as we do the first section, okay? And I will go face this direction. I'm going to go the different direction than you guys, but at least hopefully you'll be able to hear me. All right, so prepare. Making sure that our feet are shoulders width apart, feet point straight. Hands touching the outer part of your thighs. Get that weight on those middle fingers. Head looking forward. Lift your head. Now take your lower back and just kind of relax the lower back a little bit, okay? From here, and are you breathing naturally? Opening, rotate and lift to shoulder height. Once to shoulder height, dropping those elbows and leading with the upper arm, forearm, then our palms. Are you looking straight forward? Ward off left, shifting left, turn to the right. Keep your head up, looking at the horizon. Circle your arms. Lead with the right fingers up. Keep that elbow down. Arms closed, step. Then turn to the right as we go into ward off left. Ward off right, back to center. As you turn to the right, drop your left elbow just a little bit. Then turn to the left. Keep that elbow down as you rotate that left arm. Then closing the arms, stepping, and go to ward off right. Is your index finger on your right hand higher than your right elbow? Then you know your elbow is down. Turn to the right. Pivot on the right elbow as we rotate our arms. Now shift left, turn to go to roll back. Press. Keep that right elbow down. And press forward, keeping the right elbow down, right shoulder down. Again, is your right index finger higher than your elbow? Separate your arms to shoulders width. Shift back, drop your elbows, bend the elbows. Roll over, ball in front of the chest, and go to push. All right, single whip, shift back, flat your hands. Now, turn, level, turning, level circling the arms, dropping the arms down to below chest height. Then, striking to the corner, make your hook hand ward off. Step, lifting up the left arm slightly, rotating and strike. Raise hands and step forward, back, turn, keep the left elbow down. As you shift back, drop the right elbow as we circle back. Stepping with the right heel, close your arms, turning slightly to the left. Rotate your arms, circle down your arms. Keep your eyes looking at the horizon. Step, turn. Right arm comes up, keeping the right elbow down. Left arm goes down. All right, so test here. Is your right elbow down? Can you breathe naturally? All right, go ahead and lift up that right elbow. Notice a difference? Then drop that elbow. Okay? All right, from here, left knee brush. Rotate that right arm. Circle back. Swing. Step. Brush knee. Push. Is your head lifted? Are you looking at the 9 o'clock direction? Handstrums the loop. Yield forward. Take a step in. Shift back. Still looking at the 3 o'clock position. Change your arms and your footwork. We go to handstrums the loop. Rotate the right arm. Circle back. Swing. Step. Keep your head up. Brush knee and push. Right knee brush and push. Back. Turn. How's your breathing? Circle back. Swing. Step. Brush knee and push. Where's your looking direction? Forward. Back. Turn. Left knee brush. Circle back. Swing. Step. Brush knee and push. Should be breathing. Make sure you're breathing. Is your head still lifted? Hand strums the loop. Keep your eyes looking at the 9 o'clock direction. Rotating the right arm. Circle back. Left knee brush. Swing step. Brush knee and push. All right, here we go. Step up, parry, block, and punch. Back. Turn. Now, looking down with your eyes. Don't drop your head. Circle. Make your fist. Lift up. Step. Parry. Parry. Block. Keep your eyes up. Punch. Apparent closing up. Yield forward. Cross your arm. Okay. Separate your arms. Back. Push. Cross hands. Shift back. Turn. Chop to the corner. Circle down. How's your breathing? How's your looking direction? Cross hands. Closing. Standing up. Rotating the arms. Circle your arms. Pressing down. Leading with the upper arm. Lower arm. How's your breathing? Almost at the bottom. Count to 2. Hands at your sides. Count to 2. Oh, how was that, everybody? How we doing?
Feels good.
All right, so where are we having trouble? Anybody? Oh, good. Okay.
Being distracted by the picture.
John,
Watching you.
John, do you have a question?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, just in single whip when my hand is back here, the shoulder feels like I just can't figure out how to relax it, open it more.
Okay. All right. So we know in single whip we have to turn to the right a little bit, right? So we're here, we rotate, and then at the end, the upper body is turning slightly to the right. Okay. So how can we make sure that this hook arm isn't feeling like we're opening up the chest too much, or that the elbow and the shoulder are more in a downward position? This one's a little bit tricky, okay? So what you should feel here is if you lock your arm, then just have a natural bend in it. Okay, but start from the shoulder, okay? Relax your shoulder, and it'll bend your elbow a little bit. Okay, and we know that the wrist needs to be about neck height. So it should be like this, but you're using these muscles here, these upper muscles here.
Yes.
So, this may not be as a relaxed position as some of the other ones. Okay, even white crane spreads its wings doesn't have this kind of a feeling. But the thing you need to be careful about here, John, is how can I tell your elbow is up? Is because students will do it, let me see if we'll do it like this. See
That's
this?
what yes.
So there's a difference between this and this. So you yourself has to test that out. So when you point your when this hook hand, the fingers need to be pointing downward. When you turn and they start to go towards the right, back right, then you know this is you're twisting now. So make sure that if you lock it, have this absorb here, then you should be okay. But just don't stay in that too long. 'Cause,
Okay, thank you.
either
Thank
that
you.
or you have to learn how to do this kind of stuff. Pick up your weights. Okay? Any other questions?
Yeah, Nancy,
Yes, Sam.
for parry block and punch, I get a lot of, it's kind of a anticipatory type of move where I feel like I'm actually going to get to punch somebody. So when I'm winding up for that back, when it feels like there's a lot of tension in the shoulder and the arm, especially when it's in the back stretch, how do you fix that?
Okay. The only time we're going to hit somebody is when we punch, not when we're parrying. Okay? So when you parry, think of from here, we connect, and that we want to, if they're trying to hit us, we try to deflect us. We try to deflect them to the diagonal direction. So if you do this, then you should feel pretty okay. All right? So if you do this, and then you do this, all right? So if you take it in stages, okay, so if you do it like this, Sam, back and turn, parry, step, punch. Then you will get more of a fluid, more of a, you should not anticipate too much because from here, parry, step, parry, block, punch. Then it's all about making these circles and then issuing the energy. So women especially like this movement because now they get to punch something. Too, I guess.
So if you tighten up, you don't want to tighten up.
Yeah, you don't. You definitely do not want to tighten up on this movement because, well, on any movement really, but you'll get hurt. So, just think of deflecting somebody this way,
And then
blocking them, and then punching
and
them.
just well, I would say because I had this problem, just feel extending, just
Yeah.
extend from your hip, extend it out, and if thinking about punching makes you tighten up and tense
Yeah.
up, then think of just extending. And after it's a habit, then you can think you're punching again. But yeah, what you're in your mind it affects your body that way.
Check your breathing, Sam.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, check your breathing. Make sure that you're keeping your middle body, your breathing, your stomach soft. Okay, so it's breathing because the moment it becomes tense, then your body will become tense.
Okay.
So just say no. All right, good question. Anybody else? All right, so your job this week is to practice the first essential, which is what? I'm sorry?
Empty, lively, pushing up, and energetic.
Okay, what does that mean?
Lift up your head and your spirit.
Oh, that's a good one. All right, second essential.
Hold in,
Drooping,
pull up.
drooping shoulders, drooping shoulders, elbows down. Drooping shoulders. That's right.
Just think shoulders and elbows down. Elbows down, shoulders down. Okay? So your job this week when you practice is to think about these two and try to do your best to implement these two. All right? Even if it's just for short periods, okay? Because you may, start getting into, okay, well, here we are in the second section. Oh my God, here comes the kicks. Okay? So that'll take over, thinking about these essentials. But you got to get to the point where your mind doesn't get so excited about it. But anyway, so think about the first two essentials that we've presented, and then next week we'll just move on. Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions before we stop? That's a no. All right. Everybody have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next Tuesday if I don't see you beforehand. Okay. Enjoy the rest of the evening, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nancy.
Thank you, Nancy. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, bye.
Thank you. Hi, Dita. Good to see you. Oh, what happened to Gene? I asked Gene to stay late. Oh, he ditched me. Okay.
Hey, Nancy, I gotta ask.
Okay.
What is Cheechin doing with a sock on?
Oh. Okay. Well, he got an infection in his left paw, and so he was on antibiotics, and I was soaking his foot in Epsom salt and putting this soothing um, stuff on his foot, and so he doesn't like the cone because he can't really eat his food very well. So I ordered this thing for him, but it just came today. But in the meantime, I decided I'll put a sock on him because he constantly licks it.
Yeah.
And then it just keeps aggravating the the paw being swollen and stuff. So I put one of my socks on and taped it up so he can do normal things.
He wears it well.
Well, I'll let him know.
It matches. Okay.
All
Well,
right.
have a
Take
good
care.
night. Thank
All
you.
right, bye now.
Bye.